Hey friends, your girl is back with another video, and today we are discussing none other than Liv's lies, aka the web of lies, aka Black Widow. Just joking. Let's get right into this video. Hey friends, how are you? I hope your day goes nothing short of amazing, as it should be. Today we are discussing none other than Liv's lies, of course, as I've already stated. So the word on these YouTube streets is that Mr. Zolo Bands himself has resurfaced with some tea, and the tea is supposedly hot. So he is claiming to have been in contact with Liv the entire time, well, most recently behind the scenes, and that he knows for a fact that the pregnancy is a whole skit. I mean, he even said that she asked him to actually impregnate her so she could keep up with the storyline. Do I believe that? Let me be honest, friends, absolutely not. This is why I didn't really touch on the topic, because I don't believe him. I don't believe her. I have trust issues. Anyway, let's get into my theory. Actually, rewind, hold up 1 second. Before we get into my theory, I want to talk about why I was a little iffy about touching on this topic. You see how she showed herself in the same Lakeview apartment with the ducks. As I've stated in a previous video, I already knew the vibes. Friends, for the most part, you knew the vibes. We all knew she was still in Florida. It was cap, and Nisha confirmed that, as I said in a previous video. So honestly, Liv, your whole showing the apartment wasn't really a flex, because we all knew you were still in Florida. We know the vibes. We know how you move. This is your MO. You post something to bait people into thinking the total opposite. And let me just say, this one right here, Liv, you got it, because Zolo definitely took the bait. That's on him. But that doesn't get you totally out of the woods, because we all know you're still cap heavy on the no gown, because you still try to make people think you move to Texas to be closer to the kids and yada, yada, yada. We know the vibes. We know the lies, Liv lies to be exact. Let's keep going. So she recently did a live, I want to say about a day ago, and she was at the pool, chilling poolside with Stella with the boots. Shout out to Reese. Love you, girl. She was talking about her man, I guess. I think someone asked where he was while she was, poolside, toes in the water. And she said, oh, he's at work. And so Stella, in my opinion, I'm just guessing, this is my best guess, just my opinion, guys, not fact. I feel like Stella wanted to make it seem a little more truthful, help her daughter out a little, as the enabler she is, with all due respect. So Stella responds and says, oh, is he coming with us tonight? And Liv says, oh, no, Mom, he has to work. He can't come. But I do want to take him to that restaurant that you love. And Stella's like, oh, man, that sucks. She's like, because they're having Mardi Gras tonight. Skirt. Rewind. Hold up, Liv. Why would a pregnant woman, not even pregnant, allegedly a new mom who is, about a few weeks postpartum, want to be in a restaurant with a bunch of rowdies getting lit? Who's watching the baby? Rocky? I highly doubt that. But let's get back to what we're really talking about, with Stella saying that it's Mardi Gras. If you didn't deliver the baby yet, you would still be pregnant, as you're trying to let on. At this point, friends, can somebody tell me, is she pregnant or is she not? What is she trying to say? Why would you be in a restaurant when it's Mardi Gras? I'm sure the crowd is going to be hype, amped. Everybody drinking, the drinks are flowing, probably smoking hookah, who knows? Why would you want to be there, whether you're pregnant or postpartum? I think that pretty much confirms that there was no baby to begin with. Like one of my lovely friends said, one of our lovely friends stated in the comments, this baby's name is Just Jokin' Johnson, because this has to be a joke. Let's keep going. I mean, honestly, you could see it in Liv's body language. She just tensed up a little, but she was trying to keep her cool for the live's sake. She's just, chatting up with Stella. Oh, yeah, Mom, just rebuttaling what Stella was saying. But I honestly think she was thinking in her head, Mom, if you don't shut the F up, you're going to Expose me. Okay, friends, let's get into some more tea, shall we? I need you guys to comment down below and let me know what Nisha said to Liv, because I'm not sure what she said, but I do have Liv's replies that are pretty much obvious that she's talking to Nisha. And I quote, "Never a side chick, period. Girl, when you're pressured, that man doesn't keep trying to come back to his BM and marry her just to get thrown out back to you. Understand, pressure is much different than desperate. He knows you'll accept anything, period. Because you're desperate, period. Pressure and desperate are two completely different things. And don't trip. My kids will be back with me soon enough, period." The next thing she had to say to Nisha is, "Ask yourself, why is Liv still married? Question mark, question mark. Because it was never about a divorce. It was always about control and trying to get me back to Texas." Really? Really, Liv? She says, "F that, period. I'll keep fighting for mines as long as I need to. 2020 is going to be a great year, period. Enjoy these next 8 months, though, because after that, you'll never control SHIT again. Hashtag free Liv." Liv, I'm not sure that Nisha is the desperate one, honestly. Not saying that I am okay with another woman seeing a married man. I am not for it at all. But what I have to say is, I feel like Gerard had one foot out the door for a very long time, and it showed on the vlogs. Remind you what you put out. Let's be clear. I mean, you dragged that man all up and down and around these YouTube streets. You emasculated him. What did you really expect? I mean, you looked as if you were unhappy with his presence alone. Maybe you should have shown more love and you wouldn't be in the predicament that you're in now. I am just being honest and desperate. In my opinion, I think he's seen you as desperate because you knew about Nisha prior to you getting married. And don't get me wrong, some people do work it out after infidelity, but you were just quick to hop on it, put the ring on, put the dress on, hit the beach, say I do. So what are we really talking about here? You were looking like the desperate one. I have to be honest with you, Liv. Just take heed to what I'm saying, please. It's not an attack. I am just keeping it 100 with you. I have to. If you ask me, Nisha wasn't the desperate one. I mean, Gerard looks a little more desperate than she does. I mean, he gave up the house, the kids, the cat, the house that was never owned, but we're not even going to talk about that. Let me just be clear, friends, because you guys know I play all day. I wouldn't be me if I didn't throw in a little jokey joke. I am fully aware of the fact that Gerard would never give up those kids, hence them being in his custody right now. I know that man loves those kids. I just wanted to be clear. I wasn't being literal. I'm just saying, from my observation, Gerard doesn't seem like the kind of man or the kind of father to want his kid to live in a one-parent household. It seems like he tried and tried and tried, but it was time to run. Enough was enough, and he was just desperate to get away from that toxicity that is. And also, when you think about it, how is she the desperate one? We don't know what he was telling her. I highly doubt, just through observation of the kind of woman that she is, I highly and strongly doubt that she's desperate. I highly doubt if she knew that he was doing what he was doing with you, that she would have taken him with open arms. I highly doubt that. I feel like this has been an ongoing thing and he was living a double life. I have to be honest with you. But that's not her fault. That's between you and him. You know how these men can be sometimes, friends. And no shade to our male friends. I am just saying, you know, they hit you with the, "Oh, I'm not with her no more. We just living together for the kids. I got to get life insurance. I got to get this. I got to go get a bag of sugar." They will tell you any and everything and sell you a dream. So again, like I said, we don't know what he was telling her. Like, a man will tell you, "Oh, I'm just there for the kids, you know, to help out, take them to school, but I sleep in the basement. The basement? We live in an apartment. What are you talking about? Friends, you know the vibes. Let's keep going. Okay, so don't get me wrong, friends. I respect the fact that she's fighting to regain primary custody of her children. But sis, he won for a reason. Sometimes you just have to take that L, sit back and reflect. I think I've told you about this before. Do some shadow work, sis. Please don't show up with the same lawyer you showed up with. Please. And I'm not saying this on no funny. I am just saying, like, ignorance is bliss and arrogance will get you nowhere. Humble yourself, as many have told you and many tell you. Take a step back. Think about it. Think about what you put out there. Remember what I always say to you, you get what you put out. And what you're putting out, sis, it's not looking good for you. Just relax. In due time, the children will return. I personally don't think that he's trying to keep them away from you. I think that he just chose to fight for himself because you were using the children as a pawn. But you're so arrogant and always have to control the narrative. So you don't see it that way. You see it as him having one up on you. No, it's a 50-50 thing. He put it in half just as well as you did to create those children. So let the man enjoy his time with his children and just chill, relax. It's cool. They're coming back, sis. This is why it is so important to not try and be vindictive and spiteful towards other people, because you're only doing yourself a disservice. Remember, and I've mentioned this before, remember when you got on here trying to put those other women from Mamiana gang down, trying to sabotage their brand. But little did you know you were cutting your own leg off. You're in the middle of a custody battle, sis. You knew it was coming, but you didn't believe the hype. You thought you were above the law. Do you really think that a judge was going to be okay with you getting on this here internet and admitting to recreational use of nose candy? Really, sis? Do you follow what I'm saying? Be careful what you put out. Be careful who you try to spite. You don't know who was fighting for those girls. You don't know how their ancestors are set up. Listen, I truly think this was a way of the universe humbling you because you seem to think that you're invincible. I could see if he was a man who was abusive or just toxic and didn't really do much for the children, but this man was a doting father. How dare you try and take his children away from him? Did it work out in your favor? And yet you still don't seem to understand that your spiteful ways only hurt you in the long run. We've seen it over and over and over again on this internet. When are you going to get it? The jig is up. It's time to give it up. I mean, let's talk about it. You're trying to convince everyone that he's this POS father and this terrible man. But you actually showed us the complete opposite because you get on the internet and share your life. You've shown us that he's a great father and a good man to you, because every time the man got his paycheck, what did you do? Order your Hennessy, pay your bills, and go to Chick-fil-A. We've seen it. I mean, he wasn't that bad, was he? How dare you try and convince us otherwise when you've shown us what this man is capable of? You're that calculated and that spiteful to the point where you can't even give this man credit when it's due, because you must control the narrative. You have to run every and anything, and it shows, and it's sad, and I pity you. I mean, if you want to get on here and tell everybody how whack it was and how unattractive he was to you and yada, 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 go off, sis. Do what you have to do. But the least you can do is give that man credit for being a good father, because it shows, especially right now. So to conclude this video, what I am going to leave you with, Liv, is that the best revenge you can ever get for anything, any kind of hurt, is to become the highest version of yourself. Become a better you. Most importantly, love you first. And trust me, things will start to flow in the right direction. That is it. That is all. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about her. I know it hurts, sis. I completely understand. We've all been there. But the true flex is not that you look better or you are better or you make more money than the other woman. The true flex is to elevate. That's all you can do. And the first step to elevation is self-love. I promise you. Friends, at this point, I am completely done with this video. You already know the vibes. Like what you like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And I will talk to you down below and in the next video.